The Legacy of Savatage, Jeff Plate on Christmas Eve, Sarajevo December 24th, and the band's reunion. Imagine starting your career with just a simple dream of recording an album and going on tour. For drummer Jeff Plate, that was the goal when he joined Savatage over 30 years ago during their Handful of Rain tour in 1994. Fast forward to today, and his journey has blossomed into an impressive legacy: 3 iconic Savatage studio albums, a live record capturing the final show of that tour, multiple gold and platinum records with the TRANS-SIBERIAN Orchestra, 5 albums with Metal Church, 2 records with his own band All Terrain, and countless performances around the globe. Despite a one-off performance at Germany's Wacken Open Air Festival in 2015, Savatage has been on a long hiatus since wrapping up their world tour for 2001's Poets and Madmen. During this time, the TRANS-SIBERIAN Orchestra, born from the success of the instrumental Christmas Eve, Sarajevo December 24th, became a powerhouse in the concert scene, taking up most of the band's energy. The Wacken gig sparked hopes for a reunion, but various challenges, including the heartbreaking loss of longtime producer and lyricist Paul O'Neill in 2017, the global pandemic in 2020, and ongoing health issues faced by the band's heart and soul, John Oliva, prevented a full comeback. However, the tides have turned. Late last year, Savatage announced their first tour in 23 years, kicking off this month in Brazil, Argentina, and Chile, before heading to Europe for a mix of festival and headline shows. While Oliva is unable to join them on this tour due to health reasons, he remains the band's musical director, guiding the Dead Winter Dead lineup: Plate, bassist Johnny Lee Middleton, vocalist Zach Stevens, and guitarists Chris Caffery and Al Petrelli, as they rehearse at the iconic Morrisound recording studio in Tampa, Florida, where Plate first crossed paths with Oliva and O'Neill 31 years ago. In a recent chat with Blabbermouth.net's Clay Marshall, Jeff Plate opened up about Savatage's exciting return. Here's a glimpse into their conversation. Previous discussions have touched on the band's rehearsal approach and how Plate came to join Savatage, with more insights to come soon. Reflecting on the 30th anniversary of Dead Winter Dead, the album that changed everything for Savatage, Jeff shared some standout memories. Going into Dead Winter Dead, I was the new guy, and it was clear that this wasn't my band. Decisions were made by John and Paul, who already had the album written. There were some lineup changes, and eventually, Chris Caffery and Al Petrelli joined us. The standout moment was Christmas Eve, Sarajevo December 24th. While it wasn't the main focus of the album, it became the cornerstone of our future. In the studio, I was just following directions, learning the ropes. John and Paul had a clear vision for the drum parts, emphasizing the importance of lyrics, story, rhythm, and melody. They wanted solid drumming without unnecessary flourishes, which was a valuable lesson for me. Christmas Eve, Sarajevo December 24th, sparked significant discussions between John and Paul, and it ultimately led to the creation of the TRANS-SIBERIAN Orchestra. Ironically, that album also helped Savatage reclaim their presence in Europe, especially Germany. Suddenly, we were touring Europe in early '96, and every show was sold out. It was an incredible experience. Jeff also reflected on the contrasting experiences of the Handful of Rain and Dead Winter Dead tours. The Handful of Rain tour was bittersweet, but the Dead Winter Dead tour was something else entirely. Recording that album marked a pivotal moment in our lives and the band's journey. I connected with Chris, and when Al joined, it was clear we had something special. Our first show in Bochum, Germany, was unforgettable. The venue was packed, and the energy was electric. We opened with Nothing Going On, and the crowd was singing back to us. It was a moment of realization that we had something amazing happening. Every show on that tour was sold out, and that first night set the tone for the years to come. There's a unique chemistry when this group of musicians comes together. Johnny and John have been constants in the band, and as a rhythm section, Johnny and I have always clicked, whether in Savatage or TSO. Joining Savatage felt like finding a home for my playing style, and that's why I've been here for 31 years. Now, as we prepare to hit the stage again, even while relearning and reconstructing songs, the magic of that Dead Winter Dead lineup remains strong. We've stayed connected through TSO, which has kept us sharp and made us better musicians than ever. Now, we're ready to bring that energy back to Savatage. Jeff also touched on the significance of Christmas Eve, Sarajevo December 24th, in Savatage's journey, especially in America and Europe. When we introduced this new lineup and album, the European fans embraced us wholeheartedly. We were younger and rawer, and the energy we brought to the stage was unmatched. European audiences are different, they come to listen and appreciate the music, while American crowds often focus more on the party atmosphere. In Europe, fans are critical and attentive, which keeps us on our toes. The concept behind Dead Winter Dead resonated deeply with them, as it addressed real issues happening in Europe at the time. Revisiting that record now, as we prepare for upcoming shows, reminds me of the incredible music we created. When asked why Savatage's music resonates across language barriers, Jeff shared, "There's a genuine sincerity in our music. From the dungeons, our calling, to poets and madmen, it's all about great music. It may not appeal to everyone, but when you listen closely, you can hear the uniqueness and authenticity in our sound." Chris Oliva was one of the most distinctive rock/metal guitarists, and John Oliva's songwriting carries deep emotions that shine through in his vocals. Songs like When the Crowds Are Gone and Believe showcase his heartfelt delivery. You can feel the raw emotion in his voice, and that's why our music has endured over the years. People connect with it on a profound level. Savatage is set to kick off their long-awaited tour at the Monsters of Rock Festival in São Paulo, Brazil, on April 19th, and fans are eagerly anticipating the return of this legendary band.